So whenever it comes to the 2011 world, it seems like this. Everybody talks about Staccato being the gold standard. Like this is the end all. I mean, you've got ones like the Atlases and Sand Vipers and all that are running, but for the average man, $6,000 to $7,000 on a 2011 is out of reach. Something like these, the Staccatos, or seems like they're kind of in reach for some people, but even some, they're way out of reach. And that's when you start to get into these, where you got all your budget lines of your 2011s. So we're going to start going through each one of these and compare it head to head versus Staccato. We've got the Staccato C2 here. We also have an HD that we'll bring on a different day and put up against others. Today, we're going to start with, I think, two of the... So today, we're going to run against what I think is, one of the biggest names, I think, as far as when you get into the budget, is the Platypus. This is all fully customizable. This one is a 5-inch version, lightning cuts, aluminum frame, and about a 2.5 pound trigger for free and clear, and really light trigger. We're going to stack that up today against the Staccato C2. Again, you got a 5-inch versus a 4-inch, but for what it's worth, either one's better or one's not. So we'll look at different things like ergonomics, grip, trigger pull, reset, smoothness in the operation, and everything, and see, okay, if you had to throw your money, is it still worth going with this one? Because to me, in the world, this is like the Glock. That's what the biggest thing you see when it comes to Staccato is they're saying it's all about reliability. Like they say, oh, I wouldn't trust my life to this, or the Prodigy, I wouldn't trust my life to it because I got to worry about maybe a malfunction. Where they say Staccato's like the Glock, where it's going to run anything all the time. So we've got aluminum ammo, we've got cheap brass ammo. We're going to run them all through both of them, and then try to pick them and see which one comes out this round. Is it Staccato still number one, or is the Platypus the better option if you're going to go through there and get your best bang for the buck? And then next time, we'll pick a different one and we'll run them head to head. All right, let's get started. All right, just like usual, we're going to try to run them back to back. Shoot one and then shoot the other one. That way you can get a straight one-to-one comparison on the feel and how everything's working for you. We're going to go ahead and let Chris go first. He has the Platypus. That's his personal gun. I own the Staccato. So he's going to start with the Staccato and then work his way back to his gun. So let's see how he does. Now running those back to back like that, what was your take on the differences between the two?
The Staccato rolls in my hand a little more. It feels like it's not. The Platypus seems to be more squared in the front for me.
Okay.
The bad thing is I do have the prickle grip on this. That's not as sticky for me, so that could be part of it. Besides being a little bit snappier because of the shorter barrel.
Yeah.
There really ain't a whole lot of difference. Don't want to say too much about the trigger because this one is a little lighter than that one. So it feels smooth. The take up on it, I like that where it's got more take up in the front end. I can feel the wall solid. And then in the creep behind that, I'd like a little less in it.
Okay. All right. Well, let's keep going. We'll keep running through it. And but if you again just right off the bat first, without going either further, which one are you thinking? $2,000, $2,600?
Oh, $2,000.
Really?
Yeah.
You still think that's a better run? Now, again, they do say there's issues. That's the whole thing I said with the Staccatos. People were talking about the Platypus aluminum frames cracking out, but I think they do have a good warranty system on it. But other than that, let's keep going and see what happens. Owner operator, y'all know him, Jason from Boomstix. He's going to run through both of them. He was up doing some work, so he came on down. So he's going to start with the Platypus, you're going to start with the Staccato.
Yep.
Run the Staccato, then run the Platypus, and kind of tell us what his first thoughts are. All right, man, run them. No thoughts yet. Straight to the plat. Nothing yet. Got to go straight over. There you go, man.
I was thinking.
You gotta run them both first. All right, back to back. First impressions. What'd you like? What you didn't like? It's free and clear on both up. Free and clear. What are you thinking?
Platypus.
Platypus? For what? I mean, for what? What do you like? What do you look on like?
Gun fits my hand a lot better. It wants to run. I mean, it just felt like it was smoother, quicker. I got on target faster with it.
Now, is that because of the 2.5 pound trigger compared to the 4 pound trigger?
Yeah, probably. I don't have a lot of rounds through either one of them, so this is just a quick. I'd like to shoot them more and run more ammo, but
Yeah.
right off the bat, I would go with the Platypus.
Okay. What did you like about this? Didn't like about the Staccato? That's your first time running a Staccato?
It is my first time. This is thicker. Doesn't fit my hand near as good. It's just a beefier. I don't like that style. I mean, I like more of a tight fit, which suits my hand better.
That is the thing with the C2. The C2, I think, is one of the fatter grips of the Staccato. So, and again, we do have somebody on deck that has the HDs. We will be getting that out here in one of the upcoming videos to throw it up against. I'm thinking probably throw it up against the Plat and the new Kimber 2K11, which he's got over there. He's been holding it dear like his little baby. So yeah, we'll run those and keep going. But all right, man. So again, I'm gonna go ahead and go next. We're thinking, you got to think about it. I think both of these, I think this is the C2. If I remember right, I believe this is an aluminum frame, similar to the Platypus. We're trying to take, again, everybody gonna be like, oh, it's a 5 versus a 4. Yeah, but we take that into consideration whenever we're trying to review these and trying to stack them up. You're trying to, everything as far as, again, this has probably got a 3.5 pound trigger, free and clear. 3.5 pound trigger. That one's got a 2.5 pound trigger. But then again, like, how's the trigger function? Is there a lot of slop? Is there, you know, I mean, is it just, you know, does it creep on you? You know, all those different type of things. And but I'm gonna go first. Run the Staccato. See how she does. Missed a couple there. All right. He's getting me a mag loaded up. All right, here we go. Straight to the Platypus. Again, I really do. I see what he's talking about with that. What's it called? Prickle grip?
Yeah.
It's a lot different. I mean, this one still has a pretty good grip on it, but that one, it just has a lot of sharp points that kind of really dig into your hand. This does feel quite a bit lighter, even though this is between a 5 and a 4 that does have lightning cuts, but this does feel quite a bit lighter. Didn't lock back. My thumb's riding it. I get what he's saying. That's a hard call. Even though they're real similar, they're quite a bit different in how they feel during running it. Free and clear. That's a hard one. I'm gonna have to keep going, but to me, I've always really liked the Platypuses, especially for the money. But that does, to me, that felt a little bit smoother when it comes to operation and like the feel and staying on target. Even though I think my optic is off a little bit compared to yours, but I'm gonna kind of hang with this one. We'll keep going, but for right now, I'm still thinking that Staccato. Yeah, just like we were kind of talking off camera, the Staccato has almost a direct competitor to the Platypus, which is the HD, which is the one that the new one came out cost Glock Mac. He said that he was running that recently and actually thought
the grip on the new HD is different than like on the CS. To me, it feels like the front's more
C2.
C2
Yeah.
is more squared. For some reason, it just fits in my hand. It seems to lock back in a little bit better. It's almost the difference between holding a tight 90 piece of wood and one that's rounded, where these tend to roll in my hand just a little bit. And I'm not saying bad. I just feel like I got better control over it.
So like a palm swell?
No, not a palm swell, because it has nothing to do with my palm. It's all like right in here
The grip on it.
on the grip. It just locks in my fingers right here better.
And like I said, this is the C2. The C2, I think, is like supposed to be in the middle between the compact and the full size, like you see on a P. And like I told him, I've seen a couple people say they took the C2 and put the P grip on it and thought it was a completely different gun. So, but we will, right now comparing these. In the future, we will bring out the HD and go ahead and put those head to head against the Platypus. But as far as this, I mean, we keep going. That is something to consider. I mean, it's the ergos on these. Everybody really likes the ergos on the Staccatos. I mean, I like it, but I mean, something like that grabs a little bit more. I mean, that seems to fit me pretty good. But I see what he's kind of saying, that when you're holding between the two, you can feel how that will want to walk on you a little bit. Or something like this, it just really kind of locks in. You don't really feel like it's going anywhere. All right, Chris, let's keep going.
And the impulse is way different.
All right, now we've had a chance to run multiple mags through both of these. Again, before everybody says it, I understand the better comparison would be the HD, and we will get that out here and we will run that against it. For right now, taking everything into consideration as far as ergonomics, again, we're free and clear on both of these. Ergonomics, trigger pull, operation, to me, that's something I really noticed. I don't know if it's maybe the spring going back and forth. It almost feels, I don't want to say sticky, but
It's stiffer.
it's a lot stiffer compared to, that does feel pretty smooth. It's probably one of the smoother filling ones that I've ran. Yeah, to me, I don't know, man. It was,
And we are talking, there's 2,000 rounds to that gun that's never been cleaned.
yeah, that is true. We're just probably feeling all that grit all building up in there. But and that gives it, again, people, as far as this Platypus, they seem to be pretty reliable. Like have you had really any malfunctions?
I've had none whatsoever.
So he's running, what, 2,000 rounds, no malfunctions. And again, these Staccatos are supposed to just be flawless. To me, again, we're talking $2,000 for something like this. This is one of the custom ones. Again, 2.5 pound trigger. He's got the prickle grip, got magwell, lightning cuts in the slide. It is, I think, if I could be wrong, but I think the C2 is also an aluminum frame. Even that being said, even though this is a 5-inch gun, this actually does feel quite a bit lighter. I felt I had, we talked about the grip there in that little segment, but I actually felt I was able to control the Staccato better as far as keeping on target and not walking. Where like that last run I did, this actually did kind of move around on me a little bit. Maybe it was just me and the way my hold on it. Everybody shoots different, but
Right. To me, the Staccato feels more snappy. Of course, to me, it should.
Yeah.
It's a 4-inch barrel versus the 5.
again, yeah, four against
But
5.
it's not an uncontrollable or violent
Yeah.
snap.
Yeah, which is what I expected. Usually when you got something this small, you're going to feel a lot more hit in the wrist. I didn't really feel that, which is pretty impressive. Like, I thought that was a pretty good feature on it. For me, again, we're talking $2,500, $2,600 without the plate. This one, does this come with a plate or is it pre-milled for?
Pre-milled for armor.
pre-milled from R1. And that's the thing you got to consider too. You get that already set up for it. This one you got to buy a plate that might cost you 150, 200 bucks. I think Dawson Precision. But that's a kind of a hard one for me. I'll let you go, man. So again, do you still think if you had to go contender for do you think Staccato is still the flagship for the 2011 game, or do you think the Platypus may have?
I think the Platypus is pushing them down a little bit. The bad thing is comparing it. I would not take the C2 in the competition. It just wouldn't be my go-to, because this feels like the impulse recoil is a little slower, but it's smoother.
Okay.
It's like, instead of being so snappy. So to me, on target's a lot quicker for me. Not saying there's anything wrong with the Staccato, because I can still get on target with it fairly quick, especially a full-size target.
Yeah. And to me, I felt that the Staccato to me was, I like the impulse on that recoil impulse on this one better than I did on the Platypus. But again, I'm all bang for the buck, so I'm looking at it money wise, man. It's like you get that completely tricked out the way you want it for about $2,000, or you go, $2,600, or are you just buying that name? You know what I mean? And again, and I know people say they are 5-inch now. There's all kind of different things, but you still, as shooting the gun, this is a pretty popular version of the Staccato, the C2. Yeah, I don't know, man. Staccato's supposed to top dog, but I agree. I think I agree with you. The Platypus, I think, and again, that's the whole nature of anything when you're talking about competition makes for better guns. You know what I mean? So the more things we get like the Platypus or the Prodigies or all these other different ones, that's going to drive other companies to work a little bit and put out better products. If you're just running one guy and this is the guy, generally, historically, their quality ends up going down. Where if you have one, they're like, oh, we need to step up our game because now everybody's going to the Plat or one of the other versions, then that's going to cause everybody to come up a level. But that's just kind of my soapbox moment. But yeah, I kind of agree with you, man. If I'm going through it for the money, that's kind of hard. I don't think you could miss, but I think you probably get more bang for your buck out of a Platypus than you do out of Staccato. And again, we will bring out the HD and we'll throw it up there, but that, this is C2 is a pretty popular version. Do you agree? Or?
Oh yeah, totally agree.
All right, man. Hope that gets what you need. Again, I know y'all hit me up in the comments to let me know what we did wrong, but that's just our opinion for the moment, man. Again, we're going to run the Staccato events every other kind of budget version, because it seems like anything below the Staccato is in that budget 2011 market. So we're trying to see, for all those guys that says I Staccato or nothing, there are other options out there. How do they stack up? Are they as good, or are they just, Staccato is still the one that you want to put your money on? All right, till next time.
Catch me on the down slide, I'll be heading